It is 12:34. You are listening to the Mid-Morning Talk on Salam Media with me, Mara Mukwanda. We are talking body positivity today and what it is all about. There was an article, or rather a piece that Dr. Shakira Choonara wrote. Shakira is an award-winning independent public health practitioner. She was 2017's Woman of the Year in Health in South Africa and a bold health activist who is one of the guests that will be joining me shortly, as well as Neo Maboya, who is a plus size and social activist, a mother, an event organizer, and reality show star on Mojo Love. And she's also the founder of a plus size Black Diamond South Africa. So, body positivity refers to the assertion that all people deserve to have rather a positive body image, regardless of how society and popular culture view the ideal shape, size, and appearance. So allow me to welcome my guests for today, Dr. Shakira Choonara. Assalamu alaikum. Shukran for joining me. Dr. Shakira, we just had you there for a moment. Your mic is on mute. Please unmute it.
Welcome, Salam Mariam. It's lovely to join you this morning or afternoon.
It's always a pleasure. And also Neo Maboya, who is on the line. Hi, Neo.
Good day. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks. And yourself?
Thank you for having me today.
It's a pleasure. All right. So body positivity. Let's start with you, Neo. What does body positivity mean to you?
Body positivity is a movement that is formed by so many brands. It is making an awareness that it's okay to be the way you are. It's all about acceptance. It's all about killing the stigma of the body shaming and bullying around women and their body features, and not only women, and also men with their body features. So body positivity is about making awareness of shape and size and appearance, and the movement is to actually tell the society it is okay to be the way you are. And we also preach acceptance of all body shapes.
Mm-hmm. And Shakira, what does body positivity mean to you?
You know, I think, Neo and Miriam, there's so many concepts and theories around this, but I think let's bring it down to the practical level and what it means to each of us. And I think that, one, it's this amazing, grand concept that we need to be able to achieve and we need to move towards. But what it essentially comes down to is, how do you accept yourself as an individual? How do you view and judge others? Are you perpetuating any discrimination? And the final thing is around acceptance. Are you able to accept and celebrate yourself and others? And I think, unfortunately, the truth is that, and the reality is that, as much as many of us say that we're body positive, it's quite a journey to get there, and it's a very difficult journey to get there.
Yes, of course, it is a difficult journey to get there because, society puts you on a pedestal and expects you to look a certain way, and because of all of the influences that we have around us, it's like it's an acceptable norm for us to look the way that society wants us to look like. Now, back to society, how does it influence the perfect body image? Neil?
In most cases, what the society believes the perfect most image is a person with no stretch marks, with no cellulite, with a flat stomach. Actually, it accepts a person less than 36, size 36. So if you're above 36, you are actually not what the society approves.
Wow, I had no idea because for me it has always been a juggle, like getting to size 36, getting lower than size 36, and and because of what society does, it makes you go through all of these challenges and diets, etc., so that you can maintain that weight that everybody feels is right for you. And I wonder why people feel like this is right for what they think is right for us. Shakira, well, what are your thoughts on this year and on the society's perfect image for us?
Miriam, I think it's the way that we condition. There are different elements to this also. In terms of body positivity, it's not just your weight, it's also the color of your hair, the color of your skin. So there's an element of racism or race around that as well. There's an element of age and ageism. The minute you start aging, you're no longer fitting into that society's category of beautiful, for example. And I think that those are some of the elements around society. But I think that it's become so ingrained, like you mentioned, it's the influences. So it's the television that we watch, it's the the social circles that we're in. And I talk in this article about how every single person I meet or every single family member I meet has to make a comment about one's weight. And why is this? And this affects one's mental health. And then also very interesting on the health front, for example, I used to work on an obesity project, and I used to keep cautioning to say, let's not only talk about obesity in the negative light, because sometimes you're picking up weight due to multiple factors, for example. But what we also find is, in addition to race and gender, etc., there's a strong link between obesity and the lack of body positivity. And I think those are some of the elements that we unpack when we think about how society affects us.
And also, culturally, it is perceived a certain way. Like, for example, if you are a certain size, if you are bigger, then you are regarded as healthy. You're regarded as fertile. You're regarded as well. They actually view being big as good, But then if you are too skinny, too thin, and you are looked at differently, looked at as not ideal. And that's a lot in the African culture. I'm not sure how it is in the Indian culture. What are your thoughts on this year, Neo?
I've been a plus size activist for 11 years. In this situation, even till today, we still get body shame and bullied. Even after the education and the awareness that we make in social media and in every platform that is open to public, we still have a long way to go. There still has to be education. I believe in we need to educate them while they're still young. I believe in the Minister of Education needs to also indulge in terms of making awareness of body positivity. As the lady has said, is that body positivity is not about only the weight; it's also about the color, the shade of the skin. And sometimes people who've got freckles, they also get shamed. To people who got burned, they also got shamed. You need to educate people about the acceptance. We don't need approval from anyone, but we need acceptance.
And it's going to go a long way into each individual accepting themselves as they were created. Dr. Shakira, being a public health practitioner, are you expected to be a certain size, a certain weight, shape, etc.?
Miriam, I don't just think it's as a public health practitioner. I think it's as a woman. And it's quite interesting. I was having this discussion with the founder of the media platform, Quote This Woman, and she was talking about how, for example, men don't need to show images of themselves to be considered credible or to get ahead in the workplace. But women, unfortunately, people take to the sort of images that they put up. And I think that, again, it's not just being a public health activist. I mean, I was picking up weight when I was working on this project about obesity, and I was getting stressed about it at some point. But I think it's just the sense of people expect you to remain the same way that you were since you were young, and the reality is that sometimes you're picking up weight not because of for example, eating badly or anything, but you've got medical conditions or you're very stressed at the moment. And so the minute people see me, for example, they see me after 2 or 3 years, sometimes after a couple of months, because I suffer with fluctuating weight. The first comment is, wow, you're looking really big. What have you been doing? And so I'm putting it out there, and I also put the article out there is because women are consistently expected to look a certain way, not just body size, make sure everything's in place in the workplace, the way you interact. And I think going back to your previous question, what else in society drives this? It's the industry. It's the fact that there's such a big industry around weight loss, around beauty products, around what we begin to socialize. And so, sorry, I went around in a circle as you asked me the question, but I hope I touched on a few pressure points.
Yeah, no. I'm glad that you did, because also the images that you mentioned needs to be a certain standard. You need to be suitable enough for that position or whatever it is, And also the issue with you being a certain size, when you come across as a plus size, like our sister Nell on the other side, people automatically assume that you are unhealthy. They automatically assume that you deliberately made yourself unhealthy. That's why you look the way you look. And that's really not the case. I mean, I don't think anybody would want to be unhealthy. I don't think anybody would want to not be able to do the things that everybody else is doing, or they are only limited to doing something. We all want to be able to do whatever we love doing, and we can, if everyone would just accept the way that we were made. Everybody was made in God's image, so accept people the way they are. Ladies, we're going to take a quick break and we will continue thereafter, so please do stay on the line.
Would you like to give Sadaqah 365 days a year? You can with the Al Imdad Foundation's Daily Sadaqah program. Donate as little as R1 a day for a month for each member of your family, up to any specified amount, and receive monthly feedback on where your contributions have made a difference. Visit alimdad.com and download your Daily Sadaqah debit order form, or call 0861 786 243 for more information.
Kids these days are smart, and when you're competing for their attention against their smartphones, you need to make smart choices, like using Sunfoil triple refined pure sunflower oil in every meal you make. It's naturally cholesterol-free and approved by the Heart and Stroke Foundation as part of a balanced eating plan. So whether you're cooking, frying, or baking, you get the great tasting results that'll get their attention faster than the latest app. And if that doesn't work, change the Wi-Fi password. Sunfoil. Now we're cooking.
Africa. As the crisis in Palestine continues, the Africa Muslims Agency teams are on the ground facilitating emergency food and medical assistance to the affected families. Donate 15,000 rand or any amount and help the people of Palestine. Call AMA now on 083-251-9376 or donate online at africamuslimsagency.co.za. Africa Muslims Agency, inspiring the spirit of giving.
Listen to something fresh. Listen to Salam Media.
Welcome back. You are listening to the Mid-Morning Talk on Salam Media, and we are talking body positivity. What does body positivity mean to you? And joining me on the line is a body positivity activist and founder of Plus Size Black Diamond South Africa, Neo Maboya, as well as Dr. Shakira Choonara, an independent public health practitioner. Thank you for staying on the line, ladies. Now, what can we do to change the narrative and build a body positive society? Let's start with Neo.
Okay, thank you very much. What we are currently doing right now, as Plus Size Black Diamond, I say, I'm currently, this week I'm having a Plus Size community clothing drive, whereby
Mm-hmm.
I'm inviting everyone to the clothing drive, and we're donating clothes to the plus size women who actually are having a disadvantaged background, because you know that the
Mm-hmm.
clothes in plus size community, they're very expensive. You get a dress for 900 to 1.5. That's how
Mm-hmm.
expensive it is. So we've got events, we've got a clothing drive, we've got BBW festivals, we've got plus size pool party whereby women wear in swimwear. We have so many events. We've got mentorship events for teenagers as well. This is how we are educating people in terms of the body positivity. The most interesting part is that we do not have a limitation of size.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone is welcome, because we can host events and not welcome the people that do not understand our community. So we actually want all body shames under one roof, actually celebrating each other. The other one look at each other and like, no, actually, there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with me. We're actually
Mm-hmm.
okay. And that's it. So the education, my education and my influence, it goes through the events. I go to schools, primary schools, I go to high school, the secondary school. I want to go to varsities and UJ and other facilities uh, uh, on the higher grades and the higher
Mm-hmm.
education, and educate more about body positivity. And I'd really like to have the doctor also to be part of our events and educate more about health. What I am trying to say is that you don't have to eat unhealthy as well,
Yeah.
you know. We're also educating about the health in the body positivity, is that you live a healthy lifestyle, you know,
Mm-hmm.
so that you cannot be in a higher risk. In the end of the day, we can come and say body positivity and whatsoever, but the question is, how's your healthy lifestyle as well? And
Mm.
it's not only going only to the fat community, but everyone around us. Because I have this perception that a healthy lifestyle is not only for big people, but it's for everyone.
Yes, definitely. Because even if a person is slim or skinny, they can also be having some underlying health conditions. And now, before I get Shakira to answer that question, I have a question here from one of our listeners for you, Neil. They say, advocating for body positivity, does body positivity mean always being naked?
I always get that kind of question, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, in most cases, my brand. In most cases, we are nudist, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, we are naturist in my brand. We've got so many brands. We've got fashion brands. We've got brands about the new trends. You know, we've got
Yes.
fashionistas. My brand is not about fashion. My brand, I advocate through showing skin. So confidence is about the feeling that you have within you. It has nothing to do with what you wear and what you do not wear. I always say to people is that you take confidence as an appearance. Confidence is not appearance. Confidence is something that you have inside you. This is where people mistaken us with confidence. I do not go around and say confidence, it has, you have to be naked on social
Mm-hmm.
media. Confidence, you need to show skin or whatever. It's up to you as a human being. How confident are you? Are you confident to be naked, or are you confident to wear those dresses? And confident, it has nothing to do with fully dressed as well. So confidence
Mm-hmm.
has not, it doesn't have a status. Confidence is up to you, how you feel inside. You can be beautiful. You can have expensive clothes. You can be a fashionista, but you don't have the confidence.
Yes.
So
Oh, yes,
this is
definitely.
the confidence. The confidence is within you. You can also be naked on social media, showing skin, asking for approval at people, but you don't have confidence.
Mm-hmm.
So confidence. Let me wrap up. confidence, it has nothing to do with the appearance.
Mm-hmm.
Confidence is how you feel, and confidence is how you look at yourself in the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
In confidence, you can get someone who's very, very poor, who doesn't have a car, a house, who cannot afford anything. But that person's confidence is what that will attract you to that person.
Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely. Confidence is what attracts you and keeps a person and their interest peaked on you. And Shakira, what can we do to change the narrative and build a body positive society?
I don't even think I can say anything after Neo. She was just that good. But, if I were to add in a couple of things, and I think I'm speaking here from a very individualized sort of experience, but I think it's important because it was an internal battle that I faced for 5 or 6 years and then started to speak out about fluctuating weight and ageism and things like that. And I think that it's very simple. We make up society as human beings. It's not necessarily just the big business and the structures that are there. So when you're meeting or interacting with someone, if you want to make a comment about their physical appearance, whether it's the size of their foot or anything, think to yourself, do you really need to say this? And what is the purpose of saying this? Because I think that you don't realize how hurtful your comments can be and how hurtful these comments can be and internalized essentially. So I think that's the one thing. The other thing is that, I work with several teenagers or adolescents as well. And one thing that comes up is bullying and cyberbullying. And it's linked to this.
Mm.
Like I said, it's not just young people, it's adults as well who pass comments and who bully people. And what we find with young women specifically is that they internalize it so deeply that, and don't get me wrong, affecting or making comments about people's physical appearance can lead to suicide and suicide attempts. So I think that that's another issue for us to talk about. And in speaking about that, if one is going through that and facing internal battles and you're not confident like we all are meant to be, reach out to people, journal about it. I think that's also important. Reach out to your peers and friends and family around you, because depression is real and it's linked to the images we have of our own body, and also what we perpetuate. And then finally, it goes back to the point earlier, is that beauty and physical appearance is not everything. And so how do we also push role models who not just based on physical appearance? How do we start following women entrepreneurs? How do we start following women in the sciences, for example? And I think that's going to be important for us to start to change the narrative that being beautiful, looking a certain way, being a certain skin color is not everything.
Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely. And we have to change our mind shift, the way we think, the way we see things, the way we believe in. Things are not always as you perceive. So if we can change our minds, the way we see, the way we think and look at things, then obviously we will be on our way to also having body positive mindset and instilling this on our children and the generations to come. Thank you to both of you ladies for your time and for joining me and for sharing that insight on body positivity in this Women's Month. And I hope you all both have a fantastic Women's Month and a Women's Day next week as well. Take care.
Thank you very much.
Right, Dr. Shakira Choonara and Neo Maboya. And I would just like to share this article that was written by Dr. Shakira. Achieving a body positive society. Body positivity involves loving yourself and those around you, regardless of physical appearance. Achieving a body positive society is about encouraging a culture of self-positivity, acceptance, and health among the people in our lives. Unfortunately, we live in a society that encourages us to strive for perfection instead of reality on how we should actually look and feel. These past few years have been my experience. These past few years have been particularly challenging for me behind the scenes. I have been struggling with a few health issues and have picked up weight. I try by all means to live a healthy life and exercise, but no matter what I do, I continue to gain weight. Colleagues, family members, and friends constantly comment on my social media feeds about this. Each time I bump into someone, they comment about the weight gain. It has been tough, and there have been days I feel extremely depressed, mostly because of the constant negative comments or when my clothes no longer fit. It's a slow journey, but I am finally on a path to paying no attention to the negativity and instead on a journey to body positivity and self-acceptance. The reality, the truth is, we have all looked at ourselves and judged a specific area of our body as not being good enough, not realizing how harmful this is to our well being. There is nothing more important than loving the body that you were given by learning to accept and embrace our flaws. While models, influencers, and actors may look flawless all the time, they face enormous pressures to look a certain way to stay in their industries. This involves the use of makeup, filters, and even cosmetic surgery to look a certain way. Do not compare yourself to others. Our differences makes us unique. Celebrate what makes you a queen in your own right. Find the right models, find the right role models. Don't only follow traditional media. Don't accept the notion of beauty. Start, for example, by following more influencers or celebrities who have realistic body types on social media. Life is not all about our physical image. We have dreams to pursue and big things to do. So let's keep the focus to what matters. And with that in mind, I love and leave you until next week from myself, Mario Mukwanda, and the Salam Media team. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.